A+ pizza. A+, A+.
It's a surprising statement, I understand, but you gotta check it out.
This is New Haven, Connecticut, and in this video, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes and into the ovens of 3 of New Haven's most iconic pizzerias that together tell the story of New Haven Apizza. Where did it begin, how was it made, and what makes it so special? And in the end of this video, we're gonna go to the world's largest pizza party and try pizzas from over 50 pizzerias to see which slice is the best. But first, why is it pronounced Apizza? In Naples, Italy, La Pizza is shortened to Apizza in the local Neapolitan dialect. And when those Neapolitan immigrants came here to Connecticut, Apizza was shortened even more to the Italian-American Apizza. But where in Connecticut did Apizza end and Apizza begin? Well, right here at Frank Pepe's Pizzeria Napolitana, where we're going to talk with Jennifer Bamonte-Kelly, Frank Pepe's granddaughter, about the history of Apizza. Take us back to 1924. There isn't a pizzeria in New Haven. What is Frank thinking, and then how does Pepe's come to exist?
So when Grandpa came over, there was always a flour involved in a shop where he went to. When he landed up with the Bacamaello family, which is where we're standing, he was their bread man. Pop made bread. And his gumbad said, flatten it out, put a little tomato sauce on it from Mr. Maizano on Grand Avenue, put in the oven, it started. So he went up and down the streets of New Haven, pushed his cart, made people happy. He created a product that was based out of his love for his family, and we carried it through.
After a decade of making Apizza in the Bacamaello bakery and selling it from a push cart in the streets of New Haven, Frank Pepe bought the building next door, where he lived on the 2nd floor with his family, and built an oven on the ground floor that is still used today. Then when Frank and his wife Filomena passed in 1969 and 1972, their daughters Elizabeth and Serafina took over the business and continued their father's legacy. And under their watch, the pizzeria was so successful that they were able to go back and buy the original Bacamaello bakery next door that the grandchildren of Frank Pepe now use as an additional oven for the main pizzeria.
So then, as the years rolled on, my brother Gary managed the restaurant. He was the nuts and bolts of Frank Pepe's. He knew everything. He was the best pie man, and I will swear to this day that my brother made the best dough and the best pies. And to follow that, now Chris Gioria, he was taught by my brother, so now our dough followed my brother Gary's dough, who followed my grandfather's dough.
So this is our original tomato pizza. This is our bread, which is, what we are very proud about, is, the bread that kind of started from Frank Pepe. Our sauce, our pecorino romano, and olive oil. You get that little char to it, you get that flavor to it. And a lot of people like to say it's burnt. We like to call it char. That's like that New Haven flavor,
My favorite part of New Haven pizza actually is going backwards on the crust, which is rare for most pizzas.
Yep.
You see the trays and they're all empty and it's just crust all around. You're like, that's someone just saying, I don't like your crust.
Exactly. It's something so simple, but you can screw it up a million ways. And we're so proud of the base of our pizza.
Yeah.
And then later on into the 50s, we started with the clam pizza. And this is popular, but this is the most iconic and most popular pizza that we serve. It's like everybody talks about the clam pizza. You get a little of that brininess.
Yeah. Wow, that's really good. And
Yeah.
garlic.
Yep. So all it is our dough, clams, freshly shucked clams, garlic, oregano, pecorino, and olive oil. That's all you need. It's almost similar to this, where you let each kind of ingredient speak for themselves. You don't have to go crazy onto too many toppings.
Yeah. There are other businesses around that as soon as they get a line, you see the price go up and they're selling $20, $25 sandwiches.
We don't do that.
Can you explain a little bit of...
Yeah, because it's like this. When I see the lines in front of Pepe's, okay, what that does for me and for us, the workers, is not, oh my God, look at all these people, look at all the money that we're gonna make. It's not like that at all. It's like, we have the food, we have the product, we're going to feed all these people, and it must be the best of the best, because that's our goal. Our goal is bringing family together. And we know that that product that's going to come out of our oven was touched with love and had my grandfather's imprint on it. and you can't get any closer to my pop than that.
But Frank Pepe's was just the first pizzeria in New Haven, because good ideas spread fast, and Apizza was a really good idea. So it wasn't long until the idea spread down Worcester Street, where Frank Pepe's nephew, Sal Concilio, opened Sally's Apizza, and where we're gonna learn how to make a New Haven style Apizza. All right, Brett, what goes into making a New Haven pizza?
Sure. At its essential core, New Haven Apizza is thin crust, sauce forward, light on the moods. Char, not burnt. It's as simple as we can get with it.
Okay, so we'll start with the oven and then make a pizza and learn what those steps actually mean.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah, you can't make New Haven Apizza without the coal fire, so let's go check that out.
Cool.
So coal is our fuel. Coal is what we've been using. It's an old method of fire, but this is the cleanest burning coal we can find, but burns at such a high level. That's what gives you that signature char, and also imparts a really impeccable flavor inside of the oven itself. We keep ours around 750 degrees.
And that's a temperature between a high temp Neapolitan wood and like a cooler temp New York gas.
Yeah, so like a Neapolitan pie can be cooked in like a minute and a half. You know, it's in and out. It's very, very fast. This, you know, we're usually around like a 6 to 8 minute maximum compared to like a New York pie, to your point, a little cooler, a little lower deck oven that takes a little bit longer to cook. We also have a very high-tech gadget down here, this fan.
Okay, yeah.
So this will help.
That looks like the original, actually.
It might be, yeah. This came on a boat from Italy itself, yeah, exactly. This fan obviously incorporates more air into it, which makes the coal burn a little bit brighter, if need be.
All right, so tell me as much as you can about this dough. Obviously, there are secrets in every pizzeria.
Of course.
But let's stick to just what makes New Haven dough different.
I would say specifically, the first thing is just how we pat our dough. Okay. So versus stretch. A lot of places, they stretch. Our dough, our hydration level is a little higher than others. So it's a much more supple, soft dough. And so we want to make sure we're taking care of that. So for this, instead of stretching and pulling, we literally are just patting the dough out.
Feel the
yeah, please get up in there. Yeah.
There? Yeah, wow, that'll just fall apart on you if you start doing any slapping.
It would be, yeah, you would tear. It would be so thin, window pane. Yeah, you can't. We're not throwing pies here and doing all that. I love that stuff. Very cool. But yeah, that's not how we do it. So then we bring it over to the dresser station. So we use cornmeal, which also, in my opinion, is another thing that makes it huge, at least for Sally's.
That seems like a Sally's difference.
Yeah.
I think.
So these act as like little ball bearings, first and foremost. So it's almost like, like skating a little bit. So like when we throw it, it kind of slides right off. But also, once this hits the hot stone in there, it kind of explodes. And so it imparts little bits of like char and the flavor, corn, kind of into the base of it a little bit. So it adds a little je ne sais quoi to it. These are our original 1938 recipes. Our dough, our sauce, the way we sauce by hands. We're not using ladles to like move our sauce. Everything is exactly as Sal Concilio taught us back in 1938.
And you're used to it, but sauce spreading by hand.
Yeah, so this is the OG way. My hands are washed and very clean. We do wear gloves during service.
Yeah,
so
I'm fine with it. It's going into a 700-degree oven,
yes.
So anything that's on there is not going to make it out.
No, exactly. It's the artisanship of it. Like Sal was an artist, and so we wanted to create this like rivers and valleys of sauces, and so like we like create these lines, and like so now it's like bits and clumps of sauce now right there. And so then when we spread the mousse over, it kind of falls, and you'll have moments that like just really just another way to allow the sauce to speak for itself. And we are very light on the mousse. If you have too much, you're gonna have a flop slice every single time. All right, so that's really it. So evenly distributed, sauce, cheese, a little Parmesan or Pecorino, olive oil, we throw it in.
All right,
that's
let's
it.
Do it.
When pies go in, they sit on the stone, and all that energy and heat from the stone gets absorbed into the pie, and so you have to give it a minute to recharge. There'll be a system. You'll see this like dance, this flow kind of happen here. And an advanced baker, they'll know exactly like you should throw here next time, throw here next time. And they'll know I need to spend less time and turn that pie faster and then kiss it on the softer spot. We have some real artists back here.
So New Haven Apizza, it doesn't have the cornicione, the crust elevated on the outside like a New York or Neapolitan. Is that from the dough or the heat or the cold?
It's a little bit of everything. So it is the dough. It's also, because it's proofed for the amount that it's proofed as well, the yeast is not gonna have as much time to immediately fluff up and rise in there. Also the way you dress the pie too. So because the pie is dressed closer to the edge, it gives less space for that dough to actually rise.
And the pat versus...
Exactly, when you're stretching a Neapolitan pie, you're not really touching the ends very much. You're trying to literally kind of keep it to where all that yeast and all that gluten that's been developed has a chance to come alive again in the oven. All right, so this pie came out looking pretty good. You can see the undercarriage, you know, nice spots underneath, nothing's touching. This is actually really solid first pie, pretty happy. Anyways, cheers.
This is, I think, the platonic capital P pizza.
Okay.
When I just think about it, if I'm
Yep.
trying to explain pizza to someone, I would just say like this.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in their mouth
Yeah.
and say, this is now pizza, you've been introduced.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Outside of the classic sauce and mutts, I know you guys also make some seasonal pies. So what's the seasonal pie right now?
Seasonality has always been the name of the game for Sally's, which is kind of what inspires us to do what we do today more. So for me, I'm trying to take a lot of the seasonality that Sal, he started. He would find what was in the local farmers markets or what he was growing in his own garden. That's where our fresh tomato pie came from, or his corn and pepper pie. The canvas itself, I would never touch.
Yeah.
But things on it, things we're putting on it, seasonality-wise, I want to do the same thing that Sal did and try to bring that freshness to all of our guests. The seasonal pie right now, we actually just rolled it out. It is a bacon, apple, and sage pie. So a white pie, Granny Smith apples, of fall, of seasons changing, apple again, northeast, like best apples on the planet, bacon, fresh sage, and then a little gorgonzola cheese also in there. Pear and gorgonzola is a perfect pairing in Italy and traditional. And so how do we make that make sense in the Northeast? Here, by being seasonal, but still being true to who we are. I literally have a tattoo. At the end of the day, like, I don't care, it's gotta taste good. That's it.
It does. It tastes really good.
Thank you. Yeah, check.
But it's not the coal, the char, or the cheese that makes a Beats so special. What is it? Well, I'm here with the New Haven-born artist, Mike Pollock, at his favorite pizzeria, Modern Beats, to find out. So, Mike, what makes a Beats so special?
Why don't we break some bread and find out?
Let's do it.
We've been doing pizza here for a long time, for 100 years, the way it was sort of originally done to feed families, to nourish people, to bring people together. And I think that's where it all started, and it's something that really resonates with everyone, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, what your background is. We want to just reconfirm to everybody why we're the pizza capital. You know, New Yorkers and New Jersey people, they're driving hours to come here, to wait hours in our line to eat our pizza. It's not the other way around. You know, New York's never seen a line for pizza. If they want to know what one looks like, they have to come here.
Pizza is your medium of choice because it's present in almost everything that you do, but you do a lot more than pizza statues, pizza paintings. A lot of it involves the people and involves the community. Can you just talk a little bit about what you have going on and the programs that you've run that connect pizza to the people in a way that is indistinguishable?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to drive real impact in my community and in this world and do it through my art. And so pizza is my subject matter that connects and resonates with everyone because it's such a comforting food, and the way it's designed is to be shared and to be served warm and to bring people together, which is exactly what I wanted my art to do. So naturally, when driving impact, I got to use pizza. And so I found a way by partnering with Feeding Families where we can really create some very tangible change within our hospital here. Yale New Haven Hospital is known globally for the work they do. We have a children's cancer hospital, and parents and nurses don't get any food provided for them, and they're already dealing with enough. So where we could have the most impact with pizza was in those moments. We started off by driving modern pizza deliveries in every single Friday, and that's gotten the attention of different media outlets, different hospitals outside of the state of Connecticut, who are seeing like, wow, these guys are just driving in fresh pie from the pizza capital. The best pizza in the world is just showing up bedside when you're in your darkest hour. And that little impact that we're having right there is what we're chasing, and we're looking to scale up and take it, everywhere.
Feeding Families, we feed the kids every Friday. We try to create something that the kids look forward to, saying, hey, it's Friday, we got pizza coming, or even for the kids, for the parents, the nurses, whoever's on the floor gets it. They had some non-eaters up that were on feeding tubes, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with them. And they glanced over and they were eating a pizza. First solid food for the whole time this girl was in the hospital. She just did it on her own. All of a sudden, the nurses glanced over and she was eating a slice of pizza. She had no solid food the whole time she was there. So we've dedicated to feed everybody that's up there on every Friday. Fridays for the kids.
So right here, we got a white Moots onion. You're not getting overwhelmed with too many things at once. Basically no flop, super thin. And you want to taste the ingredients.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a pause to enjoy this one. Because I can't talk while I'm eating, and I don't want to stop eating.
Come on, man, slide in.
It's hot. Jason, get in here.
Camera guys gotta eat, come on.
Now, while we were enjoying our white mutts and onion of eats, which was fantastic, by the way, Mike told me about a pop-up that he'd organized with tri-state pizza legend Joe Massaro, where they made some pizza bagels with two local favorites, Olmo Bagels and Ozzy's Apizza. So Mike asked Joe to grab some fresh bagels from Olmo, and we met up at Ozzy's to see what the pizza bagel hype was all about. And spoiler alert, things didn't quite go as planned.
We're like the mecca of pizza in our opinion, for like where we are, for like the originality of making Apizza to its truest form. So when you start thinking about like how good the pizza is, and then you start taking guys like Ozzy's and putting their ingredients on like one of the best bagels I've probably ever eaten in my life, you don't think it's gonna be as good as it is, and then you actually eat the bagel with their toppings on, and your mind just kind of gets blown. You're like, how could we have made Apizza even better than what it already is? And I think we're doing that by putting them on bagels and serving them throughout New Haven. Cheers. Salud.
As soon as we took a bite of the Apizza bagels, our feast got interrupted when a bunch of cops showed up. Then, without thinking, my LA instincts kicked in and I shut off the cameras to save the footage. But we weren't in LA. We were in the pizza capital of the US, and the cops weren't there to shut us down. They were there to help us make a giant batch of Apizza bagels to bring to the hospital for the daily Feeding Families delivery. So we got all the Apizza bagels boxed up, then Joe pulled the Apizza mobile around front, and the cops gave us a police escort to the hospital to help make the handoff. Now I'll admit, in most places, a police escort for pizza may seem a bit extreme, but it's a great example of how in New Haven, pizza brings together the police, the hospital, and local businesses to do some good for the community. And once a year, that very same community gathers for a Apizza Feast, the world's largest pizza party with thousands of hungry people all searching for the perfect slice. And with over 50 local pizzerias pumping out pristine pies, if I was going to discover the best pizza in New Haven, I would have to try a slice from every single one. Starting with Derek and the sourdough slices that he slings over at Nolo.
Cheers.
Good, brother.
The pizza you're making here, this isn't the typical Apizza. I feel like your crust is a little bit lighter. What makes your pizza special in New Haven?
Oh, the sourdough and the thin crust, the fermentation, and the wood fire.
It's a lighter pizza, and I think a good way to start off the night.
Yeah, crispy chili.
Yeah.
Charred.
I'm gonna finish this and then go on to pizza number 2. There's not just a pizza in New Haven, there's also Neapolitan pizza too.
It was at this moment that I knew. I bit off more than I could chew. There was no way I could finish all 50 slices. But more importantly, I didn't need to. Because discovering the best pizza in New Haven was never about eating all the pizza in New Haven. It's not about the coal that glows in the century-old ovens, or the homegrown tomatoes that sweeten the sauce, or the dough that's gently patted in piles of flour. Because the best pizza isn't a flavor. It's a feeling. It's the memory of sharing a slice with your friends. It's the pride in creating something new with your own 2 hands. It's the reminder that feeding others is more important than feeding yourself. There's something sacred about pizza. Some call it love, family, or tradition. Others call it an art, a purpose, or a lifeline. But here in New Haven, Connecticut, the pizza capital of America, they call it Apizza.
Apizza. Apizza.
Apizza.
Apizza.